Welcome to today's episode of Business Conversations. Today I'm with Matthew Williams, the owner of MAW Associates, which is a digital marketing and a full-service digital marketing agency. I'm your host, Vikram Kumaria. I'm a business growth specialist and a business advisor. So Matthew, welcome to today's session. Nice to see you and welcome on the show.
Fantastic.
The purpose of today's show, and our audience would also like to know, is we want to know your story.
Fantastic.
And so because we
Yeah.
want to know your story, so we want
Sure.
to understand it from the very beginning. So tell us about your journey.
That's my journey. So I started as a graphic designer. I went to uni and studied graphics. And from that I learnt an awful lot. And coming into the world of web was very interesting. So I started at university with the graphics, and then I moved into web design and working for a company making medical-based websites. We did that for 5 years, and we got very good at it. So we were taking private practices, consultants, surgeons to the top of the search engines. We were designing and building them websites. We had a portal. It was very, very good. And we hit the credit crunch, and unfortunately everyone was made redundant. From that we had a sort of choice to make. Do you go it alone, or do you go and find employment? I was lucky enough to have some of the customers come with me, and I started MAW Associates. And from there we've been building the design practice up, finding new customers, local businesses to work with who need either web design, digital marketing, search engine optimization services to help their businesses grow and thrive. So it's been an interesting journey over the last 10 years. The internet has been a decade. The internet's changed vastly, and we've had to keep pace with that. Google always changes its algorithm. Twitter, Facebook came onto the market. Before that, we'd never had anything with the like of it. Up here we were competing with Google and Bing, Yahoo, as well as the search engines, trying to get our customers in front of their audience. And then all of a sudden, social media turns up, along with the advent of the iPhone, which then brought another dynamic. So it's been very interesting and learning, understanding how our customers need to interact with their audience and how we go about doing that. And then when we had the advent of the iPhone with mobile, that became very interesting, because not only were we designing for a certain size screen, we were designing for multiple screens, and it had to be fluid. So you had to redo all of your design skills to accommodate a fluid-based layout.
Interesting. So now with having been in business for over a decade now,
Yes.
effectively, what has the business morphed into, or what has it evolved into now? What does it look like? What are the key things about the business now, which you think through your journey you have evolved over, and what is it that makes you set apart from everybody out there?
Sure. Our business model has changed quite dramatically from just designing and developing websites for customers to actually taking them on a journey and providing them with more of an overall digital marketing strategy. That's where our business model has really, really changed. The growth of holding their hand, helping them through their journey online, and exploring together what it is that's needed to get them in front of their customers. A decade ago we were just designing simple websites. Now we are designing effectively digital marketing tools to get their customers on board. The landscape has also changed quite dramatically.
The business has evolved in what it goes to market with.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Does any particular, maybe one or two projects which stand out that you've done over the years?
Yes, yeah. So one that we had probably about 3 years ago now come on board for mooring your boat on the Thames. Now that was an industry where there was no online payments facilitating taking money for your moorings on the Thames, and we were approached to design and build a site that would accommodate this. It essentially changed the industry because it wasn't done before, and we are essentially trailblazing with that particular project. We're learning how the market works, we're understanding their customers' needs and requirements, and we're trying to work with their customer base to give them a product that everyone's happy with, so it works, and it has worked very well over the last sort of 3 years, and yeah, we're very proud of that. And if we can change industries, then we'd love to.
Yeah. It's interesting you use the word trailblazer.
Yes.
You know, we don't hear that very often these
No.
days because things are not fundamentally changed. But I think in this case there has been a fundamental shift in the way people see mooring on
That's
the
right.
Thames.
That's right, and it's moved it into a more digital age. So it's taking something that was almost non-digital and turned it digital. You know, they're very hard to come by, these particular projects, because everything has gone digital, but there are still pockets where these things are vital, where there wasn't a need, and with the advent of the internet, the phones, and the digital world we live in, there's a requirement for these particular services, and if you're not with it, you're left behind. Essentially, your competition is going to swoop in and take over from you.
So how has that changed the end customers who own boats and who want to, take a leisure cruise down the Thames on, more in Reading or in Henley or wherever?
Sure. So what has happened is they can now pay when they moor. So if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, they turn up, they can pay. Then they're not having to worry about finding the lockmaster to make their payment to. Also means they don't have to get wet. They can stay on their boat and do it at their own leisure.
Yeah.
It means that we're able to generate more revenues for the Environment Agency, which means they can reinvest it back into the mooring to improve the river quality, which means we can get more people onto the river, more people enjoying it, more people out in the fresh air, because we're able to reinvest, or the Environment Agency, I'll say, is able to reinvest that money back into the moorings to create a better space. So yeah, that's one of the bonuses of doing this, is we're able to free up revenues and opportunities on the Thames.
And I guess all the pubs and hotels and businesses along the Thames would also benefit with more
That's
people
right.
coming onto the Thames and being able having access
Exactly.
to their business. So I
Exactly.
think it's not just the mooring, but the
It's
wider
the wider community. So it's bringing
community
an economy back to the rivers, which means
Very
that
nice.
we can bring them to these pubs, cafes, local stores, and keep trade local, essentially.
This is actually a very interesting project. So what actually leads nicely to my next question. So why is it that those kind of customers come to you to do this? Well, because there are lots of digital agencies out. What makes you so special, and what makes you different?
Well, what we do is we like to get invested with the customer. We like to take on the projects that aren't just your bog standard, website clunker together, and we're able to produce a non-off-the-shelf solution to the customer's needs. We take the stance that we want to get into your mind, we've got to take that out of your head and get it onto the screen. So in order to do that, we need to be as flexible as possible. We also need to care and take an interest. And I love listening to people's stories as to where they are, what they want to achieve, and with the tool sets that we've got, help them actually achieve their end goals. So it's a little bit problem solving. It's a little bit magical. Some people will say, wave your magic wand
Very nice.
and creating something. It's a little bit like that, but it's using creative solutions, thinking outside of the box, not taking off-the-shelf solutions, and finding a way, actively trying to find a solution to the customer's project. That's what I believe makes us different from anyone else.
Solutions is one of the keys.
It's the solutions.
Now, I must say that being in business for 10 years, firstly, you should give yourself a pat on the back, because how many businesses do we see which last for 10 years?
Yes.
But on the other side, having been in business for 10 years, you must have seen and overcome a lot of challenges.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about the challenges which have come in your way in the 10 years, and how you have, through your resilience or through other resourcefulness or some retraining yourself or whatever, how you have overcome those challenges.
Well, there's been a number. I mean, persistence has been my main driver, has always been persistent. We've had changes within the search engines, we've had changes in technology to overcome. There have been businesses who have come to us for projects and then died by the wayside because they just haven't been strong enough. So we've had a number of different challenges over the years, and also going from a single entity running a startup to making it to 10 years. So it's looking for work consistently. That's been a challenge. You know, where is the work with all the competition? You know, lots of people have come onto the scene being web designers who think they can produce websites, but have then got bored and actually gone and got full-time jobs, leaving the customer high and dry. And yeah, we've always had to sort of retrain, understand, and always ask why. What is the why? You know, why has the technology changed? Why is it doing this? And what can we do to change the result for that? And then pushing ourselves and not being afraid to challenge the status quo.
Have you ever found that taking on challenges and trying to do things differently,
Yes.
you met with resistance?
Yes, greatly.
So how have you worked around that?
Greatly by persisting. So being confident that the decisions that I've made are the right ones for the client, even though they can't see it now, down the line we know it's true. And that comes from research and development, and knowing in my heart that is what is right for them.
It's interesting you brought that point on, because over the 10 years you must have evolved as a person, as a human being as
Yes.
well, and as a business owner.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about that.
Yes.
What your journey personally.
Yeah, so personally, it's to try and understand people. So when I came out of employment onto being on my own, you have to sort of understand the people that you're meeting and their intentions. And along the way, I've met some people who have led me down paths that I shouldn't have gone down. But each one has let me learn something, and I've picked out what not to do or what to do from that. And yeah, I mean, my original boss, he was a surgeon, he was a trailblazer in his own right, and I believe inside he's imparted some of him and his way of doing things within me, because I sort of can see some of those elements. But yeah, I have met a lot of different people along the way who have very different views, and I've had to learn to take some things on the chin. I've learned to read people as well, and sort of know them before they've even sort of started to speak to me, which I've had to develop over the years, and through some training and reading and constantly educating yourself. You have to learn how to have good people skills and how to work with people, and when to know when the right people you're working with are in front of you and when they're not as well. So yeah, over the 10 years, there's been a lot of growth, there's been a lot of bumps, I've met a lot of interesting people, some have done right, some have done wrong, but it's all taught me great lessons along the way, so I'm now further educated in the world of business.
So what advice would you give to Matthew in 2008?
2008, keep persisting, don't give up, and watch out for those guys who are coming to do you wrong, because they'll teach you something. They will teach you something. So take that on board and keep persisting.
Persistence is the number one thing.
Persistence, yeah, I believe persistence is the number one thing.
So what's the next big thing for MAW Digital Marketing Agency, as now you've
Yes, we're into an agency. So the next big thing is the next step in digital marketing. So we're thinking bots, we're thinking voice recognition bots as well. So essentially talking to your screen and it talking back to you. Internally, we're working on our own content management system, because in 10 years we've built and designed our own content management system to make our clients' websites easier to manage and maintain. There's another level of that coming on board. We're taking on a new apprentice as well for the digital marketing side of things. So we're growing at a great rate the digital marketing side, so that's supporting customers with their Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn needs, their social, their SEO needs as well, putting them in front of their customers. So those are the bigger things that are happening here, and developing some of our own internal brands as well. So you'll see some external websites that we're putting out that are our own websites.
Well, the work that you do is actually, as they call it, bleeding edge.
Yes,
isn't it?
That's right.
So in your understanding, what is the next thing which is coming with digital marketing? How is it going to evolve as a function within marketing or on its own? What's next for digital marketing?
Next for digital marketing, so I already mentioned sort of bots. So these are the chat bots. where you go onto your Facebook page and they ask you a series of questions, and they're designed to pick up certain strings and give you an answer.
Yeah.
So you can sort of be there without it. The thing beyond that is going to be voice recognition. So you're going to be able to talk to this through your microphone. So a bit like you do with Alexa, where you're asking her a question, sort of the AI side of it's coming into it. The voice search bots mixed together with putting yourself in front of the customers with your own voice. That's what's going to be coming next, is your voice, without you being there, talking to your customers, giving them the responses to their questions. So that's going to give it a more personal level.
Yeah.
It's hopefully going to convert more because you can have a fairly decent conversation. The technology is getting there with it. I think within the next 3 years we'll start to see something like that. So Alexa will become more like your voice, essentially, and definitely voice search is very, very big. So optimizing for voice search is key, making sure you've got your chatbots up to scratch within your website, within your Facebook and other social media profiles, and then this voice recognition being you coming into the chatbots amalgamation will be coming along, I believe, in the next few years.
So I think in a nutshell, if we were to summarize, if businesses don't catch on to this new wave with AI,
Yes.
I think they will get left behind. If your competitor is got the chatbots and got the AI and they are able to give that personal service to the end customers, they'd rather go to those companies rather than the ones which haven't got that.
Exactly right. Your competition's already spoken to your customer before you've even got a look in, because they're using the AI. That personal touch. What can you do as a business that is different to everybody else?
Yeah.
And it's that personal touch.
So how are you structuring your business, and what is next as a business to go to market with all of this?
So the way we're structuring that is building the digital.
So what's different, from what you've been doing previously?
Okay, so we're building the digital marketing side of it. So we're going out and trying to get our customers. We're also building internally some elements of that into our offering. We're looking at the way the markets are sort of moving with this, the way the internet is moving with this, and making sure that we're aware of what technology is out there, what technology is coming, and starting to build products internally that will be able to meet those demands that we can then bolt in to our current offering. So we're not left behind playing catch up. We're already knowing what's coming, and it's already going to be within our own system as a bolt-on. So the next customers coming to us, will see these products within our line.
Very nice. Thank you, Matthew. I think our audience has learned something new, and I just things to summarize. One is Matthew said persistence is one of the key things which has helped him on this journey. Second is about evolving as a person and being able to find out who is the right person to deal with and not is I think one of the biggest skills that as a business owner you need to have.
Oh, completely.
And the third thing is always looking to the future. What's coming next? How do I create my business so that it's future ready? I think these three things are what businesses, our viewers will take away from today's session. So thank you very much, Matthew.
You're very welcome.
It was lovely having you today.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching. And until next time, we'll see you again.